I use Kajabi to run my online business. I've run my current business for the last 4 years with Kajabi. Prior to that, I co-owned a business that ran in Kajabi for 7 years. So I've got about a decade of experience in using Kajabi, but I've also used a lot of other tools, and I know how frustrating it can be. You just want to work on your business, but you need the tools. And once you start researching tools, there are a lot of tools, and it can be really confusing. For me, the determining factor in landing on Kajabi was really this one question: is there one app to rule them all? In other words, can I sign up for one thing and it'll do all the things that I need to do in my business? For a long time in my business, that didn't exist. Then came Kajabi. So in this video, I'm going to share with you my story and hopefully help you figure out what makes the most sense for you. By the way, if you want to try out Kajabi, while you're watching this video, open a new tab, go to joegilder.biz/Kajabi, and you'll be able to sign up for a 30-day free trial of Kajabi. The standard free trial is 14 days. Use my link, you get a full 30 days to poke around and really use it to its fullest extent, to the point where you could be making money from Kajabi before you've ever paid them $1. That's pretty great. Also, if you use my affiliate link to sign up, I'll give you a free course that shows you exactly how I set up my Kajabi system. In case we haven't met yet, my name's Joe Gilder. I started my first business, Home Studio Corner, back in 2009 as a YouTube channel and a blog designed to help home studio musicians make great sounding music in their home studios. And that has been how I continue to make my living for the last 15 years. And I want to take you on a little bit of a tour of the tools that I used to grow this business and how I finally landed in Kajabi, and I'm much happier with that as a system. So when I started, I realized about 6 months into running the YouTube channel, I realized, man, people really connect with what I'm doing. They're asking for more. I wonder if there's a way to make money from this. And after going around and around trying to come up with ideas, I had the idea of doing an online course, a 12-week course that walked them through the music production process. And about 7 months after launching my channel, I started to grow. I had been growing an email list at the same time, and I launched the course and made like $3,000 that first launch. And I was ecstatic. I had no idea that this could be a way to actually make money. It could be an actual business instead of a fun, creative outlet. And there hasn't been a month since that I haven't made money. And now the business generates a multi-six-figure income, and it's amazing, and I love it. But the very beginning, I had a WordPress blog, I had a YouTube channel, and I had a WordPress plugin to collect email addresses. Very quickly realized that free email plugin wasn't working for me. So the first thing I signed up for, aside from paying for my website, was with a company called Aweber. Aweber, I highly recommend. I loved them, used them for years. Aweber is an email marketing service. So this is the system that you use to collect email addresses and then send emails to them. And at the time, and they still do it, they have an option you can get started for free. So your first 500 subscribers, you don't pay them a dime. And then as you increase subscribers, you pay them more. Now, I currently have just shy of 50,000 subscribers. So for me, Aweber would cost anywhere from $385 a month up to, goodness, this tier is $900 a month. So that's a lot. Down in the lower tiers, the first paid tier is, I believe, like $22.50, and then it jumps up quite a bit as you get more subscribers. But that makes sense. As you have more subscribers, ideally, you'll be making more money as you have more subscribers, so you'll have money to pay for that. But I was glad they had that early option to get in for free. Now, what does Aweber do for me? It does all these things. It allows me to send emails. They have some landing pages, some different email automation, but that's it. It's email. That's it. That's great. That's what I needed. I needed email to sell something. So my first iteration of my business was Aweber and PayPal. I would have a PayPal button, and I guess Aweber, PayPal, and then a WordPress blog. And so I would put up a page on the blog, talk about what I was selling. Maybe there was a video there, and there would be one of those ugly little gold PayPal buy now buttons, and that would be how people would buy. And Aweber would connect to PayPal. So when there was an order in PayPal, it would send a notification to Aweber. Aweber would email them, and get this, it would email them a link with a zip file that they would download the videos for that week. It was bonkers. Such a duct taped together model, but it worked, and I made money, and I've grown the business since. Thankfully, that's not the way I do it now. After using Aweber for a little bit, I eventually tried out a service called e-junkie. Now, e-junkie was, I think, it still exists, But I think e-junkie was mainly for musicians to sell their music, so MP3s and things like that. But you could sell digital products as well. So I sold digital downloads of my courses. So you would download a bunch of zip files and be able to watch them on your computer. Not great, but it was an option that was cool, and it was fairly cheap, as you can see the pricing here. Pretty soon I outgrew that and realized it wasn't really what I wanted. I wanted a place for people to actually log in and access their material. And that's when I started using and trying out a bunch of different WordPress plugins. If you're not familiar with WordPress, it's a free blogging, open source blogging, I think it's open source, blogging platform. And you can basically set it up for free. You pay for your website, your domain, and your hosting. And most hosts like Bluehost and people like that have an option to one-click install WordPress on your system. WordPress is great. It's used to run lots and lots of websites out there. Pretty much any blog you visit is a WordPress blog. And the cool thing about WordPress is you can add plugins to it. A plugin adds functionality to the website itself. And some of these plugins are paid. One of them that I used for a few years is called Wishlist Member. This is a plugin that you buy and can install, and it turns your WordPress blog into a membership site. So people can buy, they can sign up, they can log in, they can access material on the site that the public cannot access, but they can access. So then you've got a place to put videos and have comments and things like that. It's nice, especially if you already have a WordPress blog. I never loved this solution, mainly because it was built on WordPress. WordPress is great, but WordPress isn't super secure. You have to constantly upgrade it to make sure that you don't have hackers hacking your system and your website. And then if you update things, certain plugins don't work as well, and you got to wait for them to update. I actually, for a long time, I used a service called Securi because my WordPress membership site and my main WordPress site got hacked so regularly that I would pay this service. I want to say it was either $200 or $300 a year. And what they would literally do is every time my site got hacked, I would log in and say, hey, it happened again. They would log into the files on the back end, remove all the hacked stuff, and fix the site. It was bonkers. That should never happen. But because WordPress is so popular, there's a lot of people working on ways to hack it. So with that frustrating me, I decided to try to find a platform that would handle some of that stuff for me. So a place where people could pay for a product, but could also pay for a membership, because I wanted to have recurring revenue in my business. And at the time, there weren't any options for that, except for one called Nanocast. Now, Nanocast I switched to, and it has a place where they can log in, they can download videos, they can there's some subscription versions. It had an affiliate management system, which at the time, this is 12 years ago or so, there weren't a lot of systems that did all of those things. So I used Nanocast for a while. It worked pretty well, but it was kind of duct taped together. Not too super expensive. I think I never paid more than $150 a month for it. But it didn't have a place for comments. It didn't really have a place for people to watch videos. Everything had to be downloaded, I believe. And if you wanted to play video online, you had to have some sort of video service. You could use a YouTube unlisted video, but then that's just a link that people can click and share with anyone. So how do we make it something that's exclusive to that members area? So that's when I eventually migrated over to something called Infusionsoft. Infusionsoft is now called Keep. But Infusionsoft was started by a lot of folks in the Dan Kennedy crowd, and I was in that crowd for a while, so it made sense. Lots of customization, lots of automation. Infusionsoft is something that a lot of gyms use Infusionsoft as their front end and their back end to get people into the system. It has checkout pages, it has places to do shopping carts and all of that. And then it had a back-end service that I could pay extra for that would create a membership area where people could log in and access their material. Again, it didn't look great, kind of like the Nanocast thing, but it did work pretty well. And there was lots of ways to automate. And, if someone did this, it would send them this email and add them to this sequence and things like that. It was pretty neat. It's pretty expensive, though. And currently, if you have as many subscribers as I do, you're looking at several $100s a month to have access to Infusionsoft. And it had a lot of things that worked well. I still needed my own website, and then it could create some landing pages, but they never looked very good. And you could do quotes and invoices and payments, and you could have, it was called Customer Hub, where they could log in and access their material, but there weren't really comments there. If you wanted a comment system there, you had to install it yourself. It felt still, I'm paying hundreds of dollars a month, and it still feels like I'm having to duct tape this thing together. I did not care for that. And that was around the time I was using Infusionsoft. I started a second business with my friend Graham, and we used Kajabi to run that. It was a $27 a month membership, and we used Kajabi to host that. And Kajabi started to make a lot of sense. And so I started using Kajabi for that business. And then when I finally got fed up with Keep Infusionsoft, I switched my business to Kajabi. And I haven't looked back ever since. So I switched over around 2020, and it has been such a relief, even though switching systems is super annoying because you have people like, for the longest time, I have people still paying recurring bills in PayPal that they signed up for in 2011. And there's still existing customers that I've had to migrate all through the different systems. For a long time, I had customers paying recurring in Nanocast. I had recurring customers in Infusionsoft. And eventually when I switched to Kajabi, I said, okay, we're moving to a new system. I can't bring your billing over from the old system because that's a security thing. You're going to have to sign up in the new system. So moving to Kajabi there were a lot of growing pains with that, but I would do it again in a heartbeat. And if you're starting out, or maybe you've got a system or you've got a duct tape together system and you're starting to kind of think you need something better, the sooner you do it, the better, because once they're in the system, it's hard to move them to another system. It'd be nice to get this set up at the beginning. I wish this existed when I started my business in 2009. Sadly, it didn't, but now it does, so now I can tell you about it. So this is Kajabi. So when you go to Kajabi's website, you can look at the pricing here. And obviously, this video, as if you're watching this 6 months from now, the pricing may be different. But a couple of things you'll note is, first of all, the pricing compared to really anything we've looked at. Like Keep was pretty expensive. Even Aweber is pretty expensive. And and what I want to tell you is Aweber was just email, so I still needed another system. Infusionsoft did my email marketing, but it didn't do my website, and it didn't really handle a place for customers to log in. And then, the WordPress plugin handled the membership, but then I had to build the own website using WordPress. Now I use Kajabi for all of it. All of it. And if I have 100,000 contacts, I'm only paying $319 a month billed annually. This is literally the plan that I'm on right now, and it is fantastic. So what are the features that I use in Kajabi? What is it about Kajabi that makes it worth it for me? Let me kind of spell that out for you, because there's a lot of things. There's a lot of features in Kajabi that I don't use, right? It's a pretty full-featured thing, but there's a lot of them that I do. And I'm going to show you by actually just logging into my Kajabi account here. So on the left-hand side, you can kind of see the big categories of stuff you can do with Kajabi. Actually, before I do that, this is my website. This website I built in Kajabi. When I switched to Kajabi, I no longer had to have a WordPress site. I got rid of WordPress out of my life forever. Guess how many times my website has gotten hacked since switching to Kajabi? 0. I got to get rid of this security thing. I got to stop worrying about installing plugins and making sure things were compatible and setting up things manually. It all went away. So now I run my website directly from Kajabi. That means they can come and go to my blog, and they can see the latest videos that I've posted there. Right? I can have a contact page where they can fill out a form. It's just a very simple website. I don't care at this point about being able to highly customize the website. It's just a website. People find me on YouTube. They sign up for my email. They never have to actually go to my website. I'm fine with that. But I can have things like a contact page. It still looks nice. I can have the about page that shows, my beautiful face. But what's great is 2 things. There's more than 2 things. Here's the store where they can see all of my courses, and they can click on those to go sign up for them, because the sign up page is right there, built in Kajabi as well. Also, this has got a video as the background, which if I make it smaller, you can see. See, that's my buddy playing bass. Anyway, you can go back. Let's go back to the actual blog here. There we go. One of the things that it has that is fascinating to me and has made my life so much easier is a login area. And when I log in, this is what a customer sees. They log in. It's the same website, same address, homestudiocorner.com, but now they can see any courses that they've bought. They all show up here. Now, I've got a lot of courses, and these are just some of them. But they can instantly go in. They can say, let's look at the recording course. It'll tell them, they can hit start. It'll take them to the first course, and then it'll keep up with where they are in the course as they go, all from within the same exact website. It's such a better experience for the customer. Also, you'll notice there's videos here. I can upload the videos directly into Kajabi, and they encode them and embed them. I don't have to upload them elsewhere and then connect the two systems. Do you know how much time I spent connecting multiple systems in the past? I had to connect Aweber to PayPal. I had to connect Aweber to the WordPress plugin, and a lot of times that thing would break. Connect Aweber to Nanocast. You'd have to connect your shopping cart to your mail system, sometimes also to your video system, sometimes also to this and that, to your website. I don't have to do that anymore. It is glorious, especially being a solopreneur. It's just me and my wife. We don't have a full team that can go, hack into my site and fix things that break. It falls to us. So the fact that I could do everything within Kajabi makes my life a lot better. So let's look at a couple of features that I use in Kajabi. Here are all, I've currently have 48 products. Some of these are bonuses that you get when you buy a product, but as you can see, there's a lot of things here. Let me show you that recording course, because that'll actually be a good one to demonstrate this. Show you what it looks like on the back end. So for me, when I'm creating a course, where'd you go? It looks a lot like it would look really any sort of website builder. I can set up folders and sections. So this course kind of falls into 6 main sections. There's some bonus stuff down here. There's a meetup recording. And each of these is just a very simple website builder. So that video about microphones, here's where I uploaded the microphone. I can put some text here if I want. I didn't because I just wanted them to watch the video, and that's it. If I want to put downloads to include files for them to download and follow along with me, I can include that here. I can include as much text as I want, but it's a very, very simple but very, very powerful system. So if you look up here on the left-hand side, you'll see there's courses. There's also coaching. I use coaching not in this business, but in a different business to do one-on-one coaching. It can all happen inside of the platform. I don't have to use Zoom. I don't have to use, are you noticing a theme here? I don't have to connect to a bunch of different platforms. I can just use the existing platform. It tells me which customer is coming up next. I can actually do the call right here within Kajabi. It records the call. It saves everything. And again, for the customer, it's a really wonderful experience. Community, this is a big one. When you're selling online courses, you want a place for your customers to hang out and talk to one another. First of all, you have comments on every video inside of a course. So literally every day, part of my process of working on, I'll do my email, then I'll open up, I've got a keyboard shortcut that opens up this page inside Kajabi, which is manage comments. And this shows me every comment on every course inside my system. So I can, within just a few minutes, go through and reply and answer any questions people have without having to go to multiple different places. But then within the system, I've got a membership for people who want an ongoing access to a community. And the community system is fantastic. It's a lot like its own kind of mini social media platform. And this is what it looks like. So when you first come in, you can come to a general discussion panel. There's multiple different circles, which are kind of like different forums. For this membership, we do a monthly challenge, which I give them a new challenge every month. And we do a live stream at the end of the month where we listen to all their challenge submissions. But you can come in here, you can read about the challenge, you can join the challenge, and you can come and post your submission. So like that one we just started, if I come here, you can see here's all the folks that the challenge this month was just to produce a song. So you can see Brian produced a song, uploaded his WAV file right here that I can just play from within Kajabi. It's so much of it is built in. I keep saying these same things over and over, but it is delightful. I launched a new songwriting course recently and added a new circle just for songwriting course customers so they can interact and talk about songwriting, because that's a little bit different from the audio production that we typically talk about. Such a handy feature. And the list goes on of things that I use. Podcast. I have a custom private podcast that I only give to my gold members inside my VIP membership. This is something they can subscribe to on their phone inside the podcast app, but it only shows up for them and only as long as they're a member. And they can obviously watch it and listen to it on the website as well. And I can go on and on. I can make lots of offers. I can build my website. I can build all my landing pages, my sales pages, my opt-in pages, my main website, my blog. It all happens here. And then, of course, there's all the marketing stuff where I can have email campaigns, email sequences, automation. So if they're in this sequence and they buy, it takes them out of that sequence and puts them into a new sequence. All the stuff you'd expect from kind of a typical email management system. And then, of course, here's where all my contacts are. And by the way, the analytics are fantastic. I can come in and see what my monthly recurring revenue is. Let's take a look real quick. I can see, like just today, I'm shooting this on the first day of the month. I can come in and see what my net revenue was for this last month, and which products sold, which opt-ins, which things are people opting into more so than others. Subscription metrics. It takes all my subscription revenue and kind of gives me an average monthly recurring revenue number so I can see how that's trending over time. So I can look at this over the last year, for example. So here we can track and see the recurring revenue. You can see when I do a big promo for the membership, it jumps up and it drops down a little bit, then it jumps up again. So I can see, okay, yeah, cool. We are moving in the right direction. So much of what we do in business comes down to measuring what we're doing and then seeing what works and then learning from what works and then reevaluating that and moving on. By the way, that's the entire business model that I've been using for the last 15 years that I've applied to all these different systems that I've used, and I certainly now apply it to Kajabi. If you'd like to learn that business model, you can go to joegilder.biz/game. That'll give you a PDF of a diagram of the model plus a masterclass that you can watch where I walk you through exactly what that model is, how it looks, and how you can apply it to your own business. Hope this video was helpful for you. If you have questions, leave a comment below. Otherwise, if you want to check out Kajabi for yourself, just go to joegilder.biz/Kajabi to get access to your free 30-day trial. Thanks for watching. See ya.